So in this video we'll see how to make an upside down statistic graph. We'll also see a few other settings that you can apply to statistics in the meantime. What is an upside down statistic graph? It's just what the name implies. The numbers on the left scale are reversed. So if I take an example here, the lowest value is at the top instead of being at the bottom. Right now you can see here the lowest value is at the bottom and it increases to the top. An upside down graph will be the contrary. Then the higher value become at the bottom and the lower values become at the top. The lowest values are at the bottom and the highest are at the top. Why do we use upside down graphs? I'm just going to paraphrase a reference which is in the software. Upside-down graphs from the works of L. Ron Hubbard. Basically there are several ways to handle it, but a graph which when it goes down is good news and when it goes up is bad news has to be graphed differently than other graphs. Otherwise, conditions can get misassigned to it. Let me illustrate this with a few graphs. Most of the standard statistics, for example here I have new patients, when you look at them, the more new patients you have, the better. So on the left side here the scale is increasing. So for example, I can look at it here, I have a maximum of 51 for this month. The next month I have a maximum of 54 and the number increases rightly. Some statistic graphs, let's go for example to the total amount of bills. I'm not very happy if the number of bills keeps increasing. So when it increases here, actually I cannot apply a condition correctly on this graph. To do that, you can make this graph upside down. So to change this setting for any statistic graph, I'll just give a quick overview. You make a right click on the graph and you select Properties. When you're in the Properties window, you'll click at Next to go to the second screen. You'll see there are 5 options. The third one is called Upside-Down Graph. And then you tick it and just click on Finish. In this example here, I'm just going to make a right click on the graph, select Properties, and I'm going to click Next to go to the second screen settings. And here I can see 5 different options. Number 3 is Graph Upside Down. Now watch what happens on the scale. At the bottom I have 7,500. At the top I have more, 32,500. If I click Finish, it's going to save my settings. And what I have now is at the top I have the lower values. At the bottom I have the higher values. And the reason we do this now is very apparent. In November here I had almost $29,000 in bills owed, and then I started paying them off, and the less I have, the better it is for me, so I can apply a condition correctly. Also, the dots will be connected by a black line because this is a good thing. There are a couple more interesting options on the same configuration screen we just saw. Smaller periods sum into larger periods. This is the one that you need to check if you want your graph to automatically calculate the total. For example, you enter daily values, you want the total to be seen from daily to monthly, weekly to monthly, and so on. Another setting is private. This ensures that only the user to who the statistic belongs will be able to see it, except of course system administrators or any user you set up to do that way. So the other options you can see in the properties window are smaller sum into larger periods or is private.